Welcome to my review of a manga version of a Naruto Akatuski Suppression mission arc. I would be grouping chapters that I think go together and give my thoughts on them afterwards, like we've been doing with his reviews. I mean, other than that, enough of a preamble, and let's actually get on to the review. Starting off with chapters 311 through 314. Sai's reading a book about how to make friends, because friendship is powerful. Have we learned nothing from Yu-Gi-Oh? Sakura invites Sai to see Kakashi in the hospital with her and Naruto. Sakura says that Naruto should be training his mind too, not just his body. Sai read that you should come up with nicknames for your friends. Sai called Sakura homely, which I actually had to look up. I've never heard that term before, which means ugly. And that made Sakura mad, of course, being called homely. Kakashi has a new training method for Naruto that will make him stronger than Kakashi. Kakashi wants Naruto to make a new jutsu, and as they were talking about this, Team 10 walks into Kakashi's hospital room. It's good to see the two Team 17-10 interact again. Sai almost called Choji chubby, but Naruto stopped him. Sai called beautiful because he's like, well, calling people what I think they are isn't working, so we can do opposite. So he calls beautiful, and that pisses off Sakura. We cut to the two costume members named Kasuku and Hida hunting down the two-taste Jujuki. Hida is super religious and follows the commandments of his religion. His god's name is Joshin, and the religion's Jojism. I'm probably butchering pronunciations here, but I do apologize. The two-tailed Suzuki trapped all three of them together so she can try and take them out, and she unleashes her tail beast, which is a giant flaming cat. We cut quickly to Asuma, who's gonna tell Kakashi something, but Kunai takes Asuma away, which we never really resolved that. Really, I mean, I guess it shows that Asuma and Kunai are together with everything, but I am somewhat curious what he was about to tell Kakashi, but it's kind of like in The Rise of Skywalker when Finn keeps saying, "Oh, I need to tell you something," way never does. Never fucking does. But it's less persistent in this. It's just a one-time scene. Again, the purpose could just be to show that Asuma and Kunai are together. Well, then what actually, Asuma was gonna say to Kakashi, but besides the point, the two Akatsuki members did beat the two tails. Hida has a ritual to do after he does the job, and there's something unnatural about it since he is stabbed through the stomach, which most people don't kind of just walk away from. The pair's next step is for a file. Kasuku likes money.
Hello! I like money.
Black says he takes care of the two tails as the pair moves on to a temple. The head monk has a bounty of 3 million on his head, and he was a part of the Guardian 12 Shinobi. You can tell by the cloth he bears. We cut to Naruto learning about his training, which is about changing chakra's form and nature. The end goes to add a chakra change to Rasengan, because the Rasengan is always a chakra form change. And then we cut back to the temple to see someone liver attacked and goes to one relief of Akatsuki. I like this starring chapters because it sets up the main Akatsuki members that we are gonna see throughout this arc, and it sets Naruto's arc in motion. So it's a good starting chapters, and also sets up Team 10, which will come more important later. It kind of reintroduce them, even though someone reintroduced in the last arc, but more formally reintroduced, I feel like, compared to how they were in the bridge arc. So, moving on to chapters 315 to 321. To make the training go faster, Naruto's can use track codes because when they disappear, all the experience they experience goes back to Naruto. Yamato is there with Kakashi to watch over Naruto to make sure the Nine Tails don't take over from the excessive use of chakra. There are 5 chakra natures, fire, earth, water, wind, and lightning. Kakashi uses special paper to test what nature Naruto has, and it was wind. You can make natures by combining two together, like water and earth gets wood, and these are Genki Genkais, which are for special, like, jutsus that you get if you have it in your blood, like Haku's ice from the beginning of Naruto. Ice, baby. And then we next cut to Asuma, who's comparing life, like, to, like, Shogi, as he's talking to, Shikamaru, and says, if the king loses everything, everything is, like, if the king loses, everything is lost. But he doesn't say who the king is. And then we come back to training. Naruto's, like, the training begins with Naruto trying to whip leaves with his nature. We see Tobi and Deitua take on the Free Tails, and then we go back to Naruto asking Asuma for some advice. He agrees to help if Naruto agrees to pay for Team Stan's next barbecue dinner, which Shikamaru's father is crappy because Choji eats a lot, so he goes like, that's gonna be an expensive bill. Asuma tells Naruto to imagine that your chakras grinding on each other to sharpen a blade, and he uses his chakra blades to show what he means. We see Tsunade got news that Akatuski is in the land of fire. Naruto is tired from all the training, and we cut quickly back to see Tobi and Deitua being the Free Tails. Naruto is able to cut the leaf. Next step for Naruto is to cut a waterfall with his chakra nation. We cut to Tsunade saying a bunch of ninja to search for Akatsuki members, including Shikamaru, Asuma, Kotetsu, and Asuma, who have been background characters up to this point, basically. I mean, in the anime film, they probably have more roles, because I remember being more prevalent. But I know at least which was shown during the Naruto vs. Neji fight, if I'm not mistaken in the manga. I could be mistaken, but at least there. We cut to Naruto. He feels like he needs to catch up to Sasuke, so Yamato expands for waterfalls, and Naruto was be able to create more clones to try to cut for waterfall, and he was able to cut for waterfall. And then we cut to Asuma's squad, figure out that, like, oh, Akatsuki is probably after the bounty on the head monk's head. Asuma also has a bounty on his head because he is a former Garin, just like the monk. We see that Akatsuki got their bounty money. And then back to training, Kakashi shows Naruto that he can't combine his nature with Rasengan and the fourth Koen Evo, so Naruto would have to figure out how to do that on his own. I like these chapters. I like training arcs, so seeing what Naruto has to go through is to learn the change for Rasengan's nature is very entertaining and very fun. And again, while doing that is setting up the groundwork for the other arc that we're going to talk about. It hasn't happened yet, of course, but the seeds are starting to be planted, and I think it's done very well balancing the two, as kind of one starring involved, one is kind of like getting way to start. It's like kind of like with three-way races kind of almost willing, even though both arcs end up in the same place at kind of the same time. One gets a bit of a head start with Naruto's. So I do appreciate kind of like the multitasking of that. Next up is chapters 322 to 328. Kakuzu I'm changing his pronunciation of his name, but Kakuzu has a strong killing instinct, but Hida is unkillable, so to make a good payout. We cut for a second to Naruto, who goes to his Nine Tails takeover by Yamato to stop them very quickly. Asuma found Hida and attack. Kotetsu and Izuma go for kill. Shikamaru uses Shadow Possession Jutsu. Hida says he's immortal after not dying by like a fatal stabbing wound. Kazuchi joins the fight, and he attacks Shikamaru, making him drop the Shadow Possession Jutsu. Hida draws a circle on the ground for his ritual. Asuma says he would go in alone to cut off Hida's head, and the others would be a backup. Hida stabs himself to get a hit on Asuma and licks Asuma's blood. Asuma feels Hida's pain now for some reason. Like when Asuma uses the burning axe jutsu on Hida, like Asuma's arms got burned as well. Hida linked his body with Asuma by drinking his blood, so if he stabs himself, Asuma will feel it too. Shikamaru uses his suffocation jutsu to stop Hida from killing Asuma. Shikamaru has come up with a plan, I should say. I mean, he does have to come up with a plan, but he has formulated. Shikamaru is forcing Hida to walk out of the circle to end the curse, and that Whoa. Hida get beheaded, but he isn't dead. Katsuji reattached Hida's head to his body. Katsuji attacks using the stitching on his body. Katsuji, and this puts Kotetsu and Izumo in a hard position. Hida made back to his Soka. Hida stabs himself in the stomach. Asuma is killed. Elite reinforcements show up to save the remaining ninja. Asuma has a small heartbeat left, so not fully dead. Hida and Katsuji call away to seal for free in Two Tails. Ino's trying to heal Asuma, but it's too late. Asuma tells Ino to watch over Choji and Shikamaru, and Don leads to Sakura and to Choji to be more confident. And lastly, he whispers who the king is to Shikamaru. We get a flashback of the time together and the earrings they're all wearing now was a gift from Asuma. And Asuma is officially dead. I like these chapters. It's setting up Shikamaru's arc. This is the beginning of Shikamaru's arc right here. And this is more Hidai. Well, like, we really truly still don't know Katsuji's extent of his abilities because he mostly stayed out of a fight. But we see Hidai's full gimmick here, and it's a very entertaining gimmick because it's very powerful, but it's also very limiting. But like, you have to stand in a circle to do damage to your opponent. So that of course takes time, but you know, you gotta make sure your opponent doesn't hit. But there's so many things, you know, that could go wrong while doing such a thing. So it's a very high reward, high risk kind of jutsu. So, and to see, like, you know, them trying to counter it and failing was also like very entertaining to read. But Asuma, again, it's like one of those things, and it's like filler kind of makes this hit hard in the anime just due to, like, you see Asuma more. But in terms of the manga and his appearances, I still think this hits somewhat hard due to, like, we see Asuma here in Veil. Probably we should see him a bit more for my liking, because this is the first time we've seen him in, like, the later half of Naruto, really. So maybe, like, I don't know how you would really squeeze him in, to be honest, but I don't know. Just maybe a bit more somewhere, if they could. Again, I really do like these chapters. Chapter 329 to 331. We see Naruto still training, and Yamato is stopping for Nine Tails whenever he pops up. Naruto feels like it's impossible to control all of his clones for Zenkan and then do the nature change all at once. After talking to Kakashi, he's like, oh, well, is it impossible to look left and right? He, you know, summons a child clone and goes like, I'm looking left and right. But lights up a light bulb into Naruto's head. The leader of Akatuski says he wants world domination by controlling worlds, but like, hey, if we start worlds, you know, money here, control the money here and there, and if we can, you know, control all of that, basically supply chains of war and all that stuff, because like, world domination, baby. So, and then we go back to Naruto, who didn't manage to change the nature of Rasengan by using 2 clones instead of 1 clone for Rasengan. Naruto and Kakashi and Yamato got the news that Asuma has died. Shikamaru told Kurenai that Asuma has passed. We get the funeral soon. Shoji, Ina, and Shikamaru are about to head out. Tsunade stomps them. Shikamaru says that they're going because they don't want to live without meaning. Kakashi goes with them, which was enough for Tsunade to say, fine, go on ahead. Tsunade is also giving Naruto 24 hours to master his new jutsu. If not, she's sending a different squad as backup. I like these chapters. It's more of like, well, we see Naruto succeed in his training. So, like, Naruto's arc is almost all but done at this point. There's still a tiny bit more, but it's all, the training part is definitely done. We just need, of course, see it in battle. But this is more of a bridge for Shikamaru's arc, in which we will get to in the final grouping of chapters here. Chapters 332 to 342. Ino found Hida and Katsuji with a hawk, you know, mind trust for jutsu. Relief ninja ambush Hida and Katsuji. Shikamaru uses the child possession jutsu as a decode to throw paper bombs from above, but vows to fake out to use Asuma's chakra blades to help him child possess the 2 of them. Shikamaru has Hida attack Katsuji, But Kazuchi undoes the chakra blade, so he is free and dodges the attack thanks to like hiding his arm underground. Choji comes in with his human bow jutsu. We quickly cut to Yamato explaining nature matchups to Naruto, like when is weak to fire and when is weak strong against lightning. Naruto just thinks about how one can boost fire jutsu because when to fire gets bigger. So he goes like, oh, I could, boost out Sasuke if I needed to. Back to the fight, we learn that Kazuchi can harm his body at will. Kakashi comes in and stabs Kazuchi with his Shidori. Kazuchi is still alive after being stabbed through the heart. Kazuchi has 4 marks on his body, but one was destroyed by Kakashi, which is, when he stabs him through the heart. Shikamaru cannot hold his shadow possession jutsu anymore, but 3 undamaged marks come out of Kazuchi's body as like creatures. The max let Kazuchi use all the natures. So basically Kazuchi has 5 hearts, each represented by his main body, and the 4 max, well now technically he's down to 4, but that's how it works. And Kazuchi can take the hearts of others to get his stock back up, but he's maxed out at 5. Shikamaru is gonna separate Hida from Kazuchi. Shikamaru managed to get another shadow possession off on Hida. Shikamaru wants out with Hida in tow. Kazuchi has met for first Hokage, so this guy is old. I mean, that's kind of what happens when one heart dies, you can just place it with another. Just keep that cycle going until, well, you can't anymore. Just num. All the hearts. The fire and wind max combine into one creature. Shikamaru takes Hida to a place where paper buttons are set up. Hida gets a hit on Shikamaru and is going to do his ritual. We see Kakashi struggling against Kazuchi. Shikamaru did a good job with switcheroo. And made it seem like it was his blood, but he licked, but it's Kazuchi's blood. But Kakashi grabbed when he was stabbed Kazuchi through the heart. And like a little vial that Shikamaru gave him earlier. So now Kazuchi is down to 3 hearts. Shikamaru tried to carve Hida's head but fails. We see Choji trying to stop for Max, but they go back to Kazuchi's body. Shikamaru is at wit's end, and then Team 7 shows up. Sai and Sakura are watching over to try and help Shikamaru while Naruto and Yamato help fight Kazuchi. Shikamaru uses his shadow to pull paper bombs on Hida's body and hanging him through a pitfall. Shikamaru uses Asuma's law to blow up Hida as Asuma tells Shikamaru good job from the grave. And Hida's in multiple pieces and buried underground, which is really a small way to deal with someone's immortality, because usually I feel there's a limit to your immortality. And really, I mean, I know there's an immortality, but the example that came to mind, honestly, is in the My Hero Academia movie. The main guy could just reflect attacks back, but basically it was if Deku came up with a genius idea, well, if I keep hitting him, eventually it stops working, and it didn't feel anyways, the point is, that was an accident. It didn't feel clever at all, it just kind of happened, from what I remember. But it's usually something like that. If there's a limit to it or some kind of loophole. But I mean, there's a loophole. Hida cannot pull himself back together. If you break his body apart, he's still alive. He just can't pull himself back together. And so if you bury him underground too, and no one knows where he is, he's essentially, dead in a sense, but not really. He's just forever buried in a hole, constantly in pain, most likely because he can't breathe, and his body's apart. So, the dude is in a ton of suffering. Naruto used the shadow clones to test Kazuchi. We see Naruto's new jutsu, but Zen Shuriken. After using shadow clones to distract Kazuchi, but Zen Shuriken felt short, but fizzing out on Naruto's end, just stops working as Naruto lands it. Yamato saves Naruto from getting his Heartstone, because God forbid if a main character gets his Heartstone, we can have that. We have many arcs to go. Naruto wants to try it again, even though it literally lasts a seconds at this point. Kakashi agrees to let Naruto show how his training gets paid off. Kazuya changes his like phone to defend against Voice and Shoken. And with a good fake out because Naruto pretends to send clones out and then acts like one of his clones is really him, and then the real Naruto is really in the pack of clones he sends out. He was able to land the Wizan Shoken on Katsuji. Again, I know I'm butchering his name and I'm changing pronunciations on it. Who gets destroyed since the Wizan Shoken does a million lower attacks. Like Kakashi's like, I cannot follow all of these hits that this Jutsu's doing on him with my Sharingan. That's how many quick load attacks it does. Kakashi finishes up Katsuji, but just stabbing his last little heart he has. Kakashi says that Naruto has surpassed him. It's nice to see Shikamaru saying how much Asuma meant to him to Kunai. And then Shikamaru says he would teach and be the master. Kunai's baby that she's carrying once she's of age to learn ninjutsu and be a shinobi. During a chogi match with Shikamaru and his dad, Shikamaru reveals the king is the next generation. Which one of Naruto's main themes is fostering the next generation, and we've seen inklings of that here in Vale. But the message of the leader of the village, the Hokage, has been slain and died, and then the next generation, Tsunade becoming the 5th Hokage, was able to pass on the torch. So we have seen that the lesson of the next if you lose the next generation, it's game over. You have nothing to pass on. No one will be able to carry on the mission or carry on the messages that you have taught them. So I do really like their message. And then we get a little sneak peek of Sasuke and Orochimaru, because if I remember correctly, that's where the next arc starts. But I like these chapters. I really love Ruins and Shoken. I love its design. I love seeing it animated, which I know there's not an anime. I know I'm making a lot of anime references. But, it's very cool. And I love Shikamaru's arc, way more than Naruto's arc. Not because Naruto's arc is bad, because I think Shikamaru's arc is great. Just to seeing the change of personality, because, he used to complain all the time about this is a drag, that's a drag. But he's hey man, eventually you kind of had to grow up. And again, it's eventually it would be my turn to teach the next generation. Or it is currently my turn to teach the next generation. And to see that Asuma he used Asuma's fire to take out Hidaya's perfect justice. In a way. I mean, it is perfect justice. And yeah, I mean, maybe you shouldn't put basically the two Amuro guys on the same team. Maybe spread that out, but they are definitely a fun pair to see. Hidaya and Katsuji be one likes money, one's religious and stuff like that. That is a good contrast between the two as well as basically immortality being a similarity. Well, one is true immortality, and one is kind of you stock up on it. But yeah, final thoughts. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Basically, again, Shikamaru's arc is great. Knowing the opponents of the next generation, and carry on Asuma's will of fire that he passed down to Shikamaru, and then Naruto learning a new jutsu and going through that training arc and being able to do something that Kakashi and the 4th Hokage hasn't done. So I would say I do like this arc, and I would give a Naruto Akatuski Suppression mission arc a 9 out of 10. So if you like the video, give it a like. If you dislike the video, give it a dislike. And then if you want to see more for us reviews, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.